Welcome again to This is Healthcare in America. I'm Reid Zeising, founder and CEO of Cherokee Legal Holdings. Today, I want to take a step back and really set the scene for healthcare in America in 2021 and beyond. In fact, I'd like to model this week's episode after Byron Wien's annual 10 Surprises. In other words, I'm going to outline some facts and inlay some predictions. So let's get started. For those of you not familiar with Byron or his annual 10 Surprises list, here's a little backstory. Byron, now vice chairman of Blackstone, started the tradition in 1986 when he was chief U.S. strategist at Morgan Stanley. Byron defines a surprise as an event that the average investor would only assign a 1 in 3 chance of taking place, but which Byron believes is probable, or having a better than 50% likelihood of happening. In this episode, I'd like to offer a similar collection of probable predictions that'll have implications for the financial and legal services industry with downstream effects impacting healthcare. Number 1, settlements will slow dramatically and there will be an extension in the duration of average time to settle. As it is, only a small percentage of cases go to trial, but it's the threat of trial that leads to settlements. With the court system still backed up as a result of COVID-19, the average time to settle will stay extended through 2021 and beyond. Insurance companies, they had the opportunity to put trial attorneys on their heels, but they failed. They could have taken a full offensive at the time of COVID-19, launched an ad campaign to settle outstanding cases, even at a slight premium. They would have been viewed as part of the solution. But instead, they stayed true to their colors of self-serving claims denial. And that's sad. Number 2, those cases that do settle will show lower average settlement amounts, due purely to insurance companies taking advantage of plaintiff and market vulnerabilities throughout last year, this year, and even extending to next year. We can wait this out mentality. It's left plaintiffs without options. No choice but to settle for less, simply because they can't afford to wait like insurance companies can. Even premature and lesser settlements provide certainty of payment. This is a lingering effect of the pandemic, and it'll be lower average settlement amounts through 2021. Number 3, as juries restart post-COVID, an avalanche of cases will hit the court system. Now, great cases will go to trial, and attorneys will lead with their most egregious cases. Punitive damages aimed at changing corporate behavior will also be trending higher. Number 4, there will be a large number of settlements waterfall at the end of 2021. There is an incentive to get cases off the books by year end, but not a lot of incentive between now and then to settle. There will be slightly higher average settlements due to the threat of trial being real again, but the bulk of settled cases will take place in the last quarter of 2021. As courts get back underway, the trending case volumes will graph out in a high right V curve. Number 5, near the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022, insurance companies will get slaughtered. Insurance companies have made no effort to settle, despite people really needing help as a result of their situation. It's been exacerbated by the pandemic. As these cases make their way to court, jurors will side with plaintiffs for the mere fact that insurance companies played off societal and market vulnerabilities. Jurors will not tolerate how insurance companies have taken advantage of people. Insurance defense? They'll say people received government funds, including stimulus checks, extended unemployment benefits, and that these individuals therefore did not need their settlement dollars. It's simply not true. Any money given was money that was needed. Insurance companies should have been paying plaintiffs throughout the pandemic, and because they weren't, their judgment day by juries will be harsh but fitting. Number 6, North Carolina is going to revert back its long-standing ban on plaintiff cash advances. My 6th and final prediction is my Hail Mary, although I absolutely believe it will happen and that other states will follow suit. After a 15-year ban, North Carolina will reinstate critical availability of emergency credit, including plaintiff cash advances. North Carolina is currently one of 16 states plus DC where these services have been deemed illegal. So, how does this all tie in to the healthcare industry? The letters of protection that healthcare providers hold have seen their payments delayed as a result of delayed settlements. Insurance defense counsels have made doctors holding patient liens their #1 target. They argue that information gathered by doctors when seeing personal injury patients who have no healthcare insurance potentially biases their professional opinions. They question whether healthcare providers who service their own liens act as investors in litigation. These defense counsels look for any and all communication between healthcare providers and attorneys regarding insurance policy limits, case values, ongoing case updates, settlement influence, negotiations, and case involvement, as well as insurance opt-out requirements. Taken directly from the discovery playbook of the insurance defense industry, they look to make discovery requests of all provider texts, phone logs, emails, and other forms of communication. They bring in medical forensic accounting experts to look for dual charge masters, varied billing, upcoding, double billing, or unbundling, any separation of patient and clinical records. They want to, quote, trap someone in the medical practice group with billing authority into saying that overbilling is fraud. They ignite these discovery battles to create trouble. They believe that a motion to compel is simply an expensive necessity. As you know, both the Georgia House and Senate attempted to pass legislation in the last session to eliminate traditional medical funding. This was a clear attempt to pierce the collateral source veil and limit patient access to quality medical care. Guised under the notion of tort reform, it was a clear attempt by the insurance defense industry to ban traditional medical funding, force doctors to hold liens, and expose doctors for their financial interest, alleged inflated charges, and alleged biased medical opinion. That's not right. The lack of or attempt to limit access to necessary medical care for plaintiffs is propelling the healthcare crisis we have here in America. This, coupled with the structure of the insurance industry, is leaving people without critical access to care. And not just people, but our most vulnerable population. That's all today. Tune in next episode of This is Healthcare in America. I'm Reid Zeising. Thank you for listening, and please stay out of the hospital.